Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Radical Geek YouTube. I went ahead and started up. So, welcome to our Sunday night coffee talk. And just to let you know, we are still in the hotel. We just finished up our conference today, Origins Game Fair. It was fantastic. And then let's see who's here. I see Hungry Heath is here, and Purple Lady. Hey, Purple Lady. Getting settled in the new place. And I see Sharon is here. I gotta scroll back a little bit. And Glenda has joined us. Hey Renee, good to see you on. And Lisa's here. Says she's never had the Dalgona coffee, but has seen the TikToks. So yeah, and we have a little chance of it failing because I've only made these Keto Dalgona coffees with my electric whip. But we're in the hotel and it wasn't practical to bring it, so we're gonna do it by hand. Might be crazy with all the clacking because I have to use the metal bowl, but well, what would it be if it were not one of our crazy live streams with a little bit of chaos, right? So let's see. And Exchange Student 2 is here. Let's see who else. Oh, and the Warden and Gigi and Ryquin has joined us. So really good to see everybody tonight. It's been quite a week. So, in addition to the Dalgona coffee, we're going to do a riff on the muffalata sandwich, but we're making a waffle, so it should be very interesting. I did have to do some modifications to it, obviously, because it's a waffle and not a sandwich that you're going to be able to squish down. So, but we'll go through that. It is super, super tasty. And with that, also, I'll be able to show you the neutral waffle batter I made, which I didn't bring any corn extract, but sometimes if you do that, you can take it. Works really great with a taco theme. Really highlights the savory and the spice from the taco meat. But today, I'm not adding any extract to it, so we'll take care of that in a minute, and we'll do that. But I think, let's talk about this Dalgona coffee first. So the Dalgona coffee is it's really more of a coffee whip placed on top of your dairy. Now I have my cold dairy here and I've iced it down. It's half and half with water because I didn't bring almond milk with us to the hotel, but you absolutely could use unsweetened almond milk. It's probably a better choice. You could also do, like we've talked about in the past, where you take your heavy cream and you mix it 50-50 with the cold water, which brings it to that milk consistency and also reduces your carbohydrate count on it a little bit. So I don't know that I would go with like all nut pod. That might be pushing things too far. And unfortunately, our Maple Hill not milk, whatever that was, is all gone, so they're not making that anymore, and it's impossible to find in the stores. So that's unfortunately where it's at. Also, a coconut milk would work really nicely. Not the kind from the can, the kind in the carton in the refrigerator section. But very important to be iced down. So let's see what we've got here. Lots of stuff here. Renee points out that they like the Dalgona coffee, but if you're not keto-fying it, it's definitely way too many carbs. Absolutely, because it's a lot of it's sugar and coffee. So yes, and let's see. Greetings to people. Oh, and Renee says they made one using allulose, and yes, that's what I'll be using tonight is allulose. So. Exchange Student 2 is asking if I'm making a stuffler and said they made lemon keto chow waffles. I am, but we are making it savory, super savory, extra savory, if I might add. So, oh, and the Warden, thank you for reminding people to pop out there and hit that like button. That's really helpful. Let's see. Oh, and the Warden and Glenda both say they liked Irish cream in coffee. Me too. That was some tasty stuff. I haven't quite gotten down a keto recipe yet, but I am still working on it. It's almost there, but just something a little off with it that I'm like not ready to put it out there. Sometimes when my recipes aren't ready, they're still pretty tasty and I don't mind putting it out there where we can all tweak it. but that one's not there. It's got like a sour taste to it, the after eight, that I've got to resolve. So we'll have it soon though. Really cool. Once I have another round of ingredients come in, I do have the whiskey portion down for where Joe from Two Crazy Ketos is saying he'd been wanting an Irish coffee. I do got that down, so, but I didn't have enough to like continue making the ingredients for a video, so that will have to be in the future. Eventually that special extract that I need will come back in stock and we can move full steam ahead. Let's see. Oh, Renee says they did smash the like up button, so that's definitely appreciated. Hungry He says he's excited. He got a new hot sauce that he's about to begin work on. They're going to call it Tears from a Clown. Oh, well, I've got the live stream for you. So let's see. And Jen said they had a full day of brisket and armadillo eggs. Ooh, I love armadillo eggs. Those are so good. We're due another round of that, and I think I have, they might not be the ones with the beef, but I do believe that I've got one more package of ground turkey and one more package of ground pork. So I think the jalapenos in the middle and then some nice bacon wrapping would be really tasty. And of course, because I'm in the hotel, my setup is a disaster. I've got my computer here, so it's hard to pay attention to the camera and also read the chat. So bear with me. Lots of greetings and hellos. Let's see. More, just lots more greetings. That's good. And then, oh, Renee says they just read an article about a hot sauce shortage due to the damage in pepper crops in California. Ooh, that Sriracha has paused manufacturing, according to the article. Then it's going to be extra important if I can get hands on some once they finish blooming this summer. I'm going to teach you guys how to make that fermented chili paste that then you can strain and make into a Sriracha sauce. So, good. Also, just, you know, like Sriracha is delicious, but manufactured Sriracha, you got to be careful because they have additives in there that are inflammatory for a lot of people on keto. Still delicious, and it's delicious enough that occasionally I make sure I just accommodate and I deal with it, especially if I don't have any of our own in a jar. So, Dalgona coffee, before my hot water becomes not hot water, is ingredient wise super easy. You need, and this will weigh a whole bunch, a lot more than I will be having tonight. So I might have to do something, you know, you don't have to refrigerate it because it's freeze-dried coffee and the dairy is in the cup you drink, not in there. So I might just like set it and eat some of it in the morning before we get in the car and go home. It's 2 tablespoons of your instant coffee. Now I have the Cafe Bustelo Espresso Instant Coffee. It's not instant espresso, it's instant coffee. The fine ground instant espresso powder that's like super thin and teeny tiny will not blend the same way. It needs to be instant coffee. The instant coffee is freeze dried and then manufactured. It has a little bit of xanthan gum used in the process to make the freeze dried coffee, which is part of what allows it to whip. So those are super important. By the way, I also have a bunch of ingredients on the windowsill behind me, so it's a little awkward. I definitely wish that I had brought an extra table, but you can only bring so much to the hotel. And it's already probably beyond crazy the way I come to the hotel. So then you need 2 tablespoons of your sweetener. I can tell you that I'm using the allulose because I don't want it to be too super sweet for me. But Dalgona coffee is traditionally super sweet. So if you want to add more sweet, because it's also very strong, you may want to use a monk fruit blend to heighten the sweetener, or even if your stomach can handle the erythritol works great in it. Like I said, but I went with the allulose, and that's pretty good for me. So 2 tablespoons, 2 tablespoons. Now your ingredient, 2 more tablespoons of hot water. It does need to be hot. It would probably be better if it was hotter than what I've got, but we will go with it. And that is everything you need for your Dalgona coffee. I'm going to start whisking and making too much noise. So let me know if the noise is bothersome. But we'll check back here with the messages. If it's bothersome, we might just have to mute for a couple minutes, or just we'll just talk over it and deal with it. So let's see. Oh, Exchange Student 2 says they're excited for the stuffed waffle. Let's see. Hungry Heath is using the M word to tease Renee. So rude. And then lots of little back and forth. Okay, so, but I am using my favorite whisk. It's the little springy one. So we've seen that a lot. It is my favorite because it gets really, really whippy and really digs in there. It's perfect for hollandaise and other things that require extensive whisking. This is my preferred whisk for lemon curd. I'll try and tilt this a little bit. Maybe you'll be able to see. Right now it looks like chocolate sauce, but it is already foaming up. And again, like I said, part of that is due to the emulsifiers in the creation of the freeze-dried coffee, as well as the xanthan gum that is in your coffee crystals. So give me a second here. Chat amongst yourselves while I whisk madly. It is thickening, so that's a good sign. And it's going to go from this dark color and lighten up even more. When we first put it in with the water, it was like almost black looking. And as I continue to whisk it up, the color is turning lighter and lighter in beige color. Then, the hard part about doing this manually is that your arm gets tired from the whisking. But we'll go for it. See what we've got over here while I move my arms. Let's see. Just Renee says they haven't bought sriracha in ages, so they really weren't stressing about it. But yes, the damage to the pepper crops could really be problematic in our future for those of us who really love the hot and spicy. I definitely encourage trying to grow some of your own so you don't wind up without your spice. You know, spice is life. All right, it's definitely coming to. As you can see, it's getting lighter. And I'm almost there. So I have to tell you guys, my vacation this week, oh well, since Wednesday to today, and I took tomorrow off so I can get resituated at home, has been heavenly. I have had such a great time. Honestly, there were lots of whiners and complainers because the show decided that they were going to go ahead and require masks because they haven't been active, and they just thought that it would be better all around, because when you have a big convention, you don't want to get that bad reputation from being a super spreader. And regardless of where you land on masks, I mean, I'm not excited to wear them, most certainly, but I was definitely thrilled to be amongst a bunch of people, being big nerds, doing all the fun stuff. Let me cap that off, and I have to step over here for a second. I forgot a discard plate. All right, I'm running out of space on the windowsill. Sorry about that, but all right. So now we've got this nice fluffy mousse. I probably could whip it more, but quite frankly, that's as much activity as I wanted to do today. I am tired, but But here we go. We're just gonna pour it on. You would whip it a little bit more to get it just a teensy bit fluffier. I'm going full bore in though. I said I was gonna leave some for leftovers, and now I've scooped it all in there. It's a good thing that I can sleep caffeinated because, whew. All right. There is more in here. Let me just set this on the counter. And there we go. There is our Dalgona coffee. You can see both layers, the mousse on top, your dairy below. It will sit on there. It won't sink down, but you don't necessarily want to just dive right in. You want to mix it because the strength of the Dalgona foam is super, super strong. I'll taste it. Oh yeah, that's a definitely a strong, and it gets a little bit bitter because it's the concentrated coffee crystals. So you mix it, now you go in and you mix it in with your dairy, and it does resist being mixed in, so you do want to have like your spoon so you can get in there, A, mix it, or B, take your little tastes along the way, all that fun stuff. That is the Dalgona coffee. Oh, it's great. I forget about these sometimes, and it really, especially if you use the unsweetened almond milk, it's very low carb. I know allulose has carbs, but while I'm not a big fan of subtracting, honestly, I have not had impact from the allulose in any sort of way that has given me an indication that it's a problem to not be fussy about it. I still don't like to eat a lot of allulose all the time, but in a treat like this, I'm not sad about it. I'm not worried about it. Also, vacation where I've let myself be a little sloppy. By Tuesday, I'm gonna have to strict back up and get back in top form. So let's take a look here at some comments. Let's see. Oh, lots of good evenings. The discussion, I scrolled back. Hot sauce shortage. Let's see. I guess we are doing all right. We kind of talked about it. So, oh, and Renee. Oh, I'm sorry to read this. Renee says we hope that everyone can send out some positive feels for Paul. I didn't know that his mother had passed away because I've been out of touch. So. Yeah, that's rough. You know, we all really love him a lot, so he's been a great supporter all around the board. So, yeah, we definitely give a shout out there and say, hang in there, but we're all here pulling. So, let's see. Kat Reed has joined us. Hey, Kat Reed. Nice to see you here. And let's see. I don't know, I feel like I missed something there. It says Heath be nice. Oh, because of the M word usage. Oh, and Renee says windowsill, pantry, same thing. At least here in this hotel room, that's 100% for sure. So let's make this stuffed waffle after I take another bite. Fantastic. I'm super pleased. It came out just right. I probably should have whipped it just a smidge more, but nah, it's good. I have in my bowl here because the stuffed waffle, just like the Stuffler, so much for mini, needs a double batch of your batter. So you would have this for everything we're going to use, and of course I'm in the hotel, so I'm not measuring precise. I'm not worried about it, but you probably will want to worry about it. 2 eggs. I'm going to do a pinch of salt, or like 3 grinds. It's just my Redmond. You use whatever sea salt you like, but a pinch of salt really helps with the taste of the batter. I'm going to put in a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder right in there with the eggs so it can start doing its magic baking powder thing. Set that aside. About 2 ounces of avocado oil. And I'm going to need a special favor. Half and half from the fridge, please. I forgot to bring dairy over here to mix into the batter. My bad. That was about 2 ounces. I might have over poured a little bit, but we'll make it up with our whey isolate. So the whey isolate, I've got Isopure. It's the 0 carb because it's the protein isolate, and basically that's what it is. So it's no sweetener, no flavoring, no nothing. It's and again, this is the Isopure brand. You can use whatever brand you want, and I know that someone will eventually ask if I can use beef protein instead. It's all right, you're fine. Thank you. People don't like to be on the camera, but that's all right. It's good. So you can use, yes, it does work with beef protein if you're getting the equip and you get unflavored, but it gets kind of a little bit of the it does get taste to it because that protein is not as neutral as the whey. So I've got, it's actually going to be, it would normally be like 4 tablespoons, but the scoop is usually about 2. I'm going to throw my full scoop in, and I'm going to use 2 scoops. So, you know, it's not, that's the thing with these stuffed waffles, the ingredients are not insignificant. It's hearty. I won't be able to eat all of it, so part of it will go in the fridge for morning or to travel home. And you also add in some dairy. Again, it would be about 2 ounces because it's usually 1 ounce of fat, 1 ounce of dairy, 1 egg, and 1 scoop of your powder, plus any extracts or flavorings that you would add in, and that is usually where we go with this. I'm going to need a second device here. And just like you do with any of your waffle or chapo mixes, we're going to mix the batter up and get it going all nice and smooth. So I wish that I had a little bit bigger bowl, but it is what it is. Again, we weren't being I can only bring so much. And I brought the Prius instead of my FJ Cruiser, because the FJ Cruiser doesn't fit in the parking garage here. So if I want to park my FJ Cruiser, you guys, it would be $40 a night. 40. Now in the regular garage, it's still a fortune, but it's 22 a night. So 22 is definitely better than 40. I'm getting all my pings now from people I worked with this weekend and their current statuses and their travels, back in my hotel room, on the road, getting home. And I always love that part because it reminds you of how close you guys, people get when you start doing things together in an atmosphere like this. You know, I spent my entire vacation with, you know, yes, I went out and I did a lot of board games and I played individual events and stuff, but a bulk of my time was spent in one area because I volunteered and I taught some crochet classes. So you get there and you do you unload, everybody helps each other unload, you bring in all the equipment together, you have meals together, you know. You're spending a week with the same people that you're seeing them for like 6 or 7 hours a day. So by the end of the con, you're reminded as to why you all are really very fond of each other. So that's one of the good parts. While I continue to stir this, let's take a minute and see where we've got. Reichman says they really enjoyed the Warden's pimento cheese recipe. I haven't got to watch it yet, but I love pimento cheese. Really good with pork rinds. I was tempted at one point to put pimento cheese into one of these stuffed waffles, but thought that it might be a little bit too much and get disgusting. So we didn't do that. the batter is still very lumpy, so I'd better more aggressively stir it. It's coming. It will happen, I promise. So let's see. Oh, exchange student 2 said they made cauliflower mash following the I Breathe I'm Hungry recipe. You know, that's a good site, and I forget to go there and check for stuff sometimes. But yeah, those are some tasty recipes. I really like that one, and the other place where I like to see is I like Carol's recipes from the I Eat, I Breathe. I can't remember the exact title, but that was pretty much the gist of it. Oh, an exchange student is asking what our weather prediction is supposed to be like in the upcoming week, and says they're looking to be in the 90s. And here too, we're definitely looking at a broiler week. So, oh, not looking forward to that. I mean, I like when it's warm, but I don't like paying for the AC inside the house. So, you know, it's that double-edged sword. So you do get a little bit of lumps in your batter, but you want it to at least have, not be like giant clumps. Just like regular pancake or waffle batter, when you wind up with a few little lumps in there, they're gonna smooth out as it cooks and continues to hydrate. If I were at home, I might actually even just walk away for 10 minutes or so and just let it continue and then give it another stir. But we're not going to do that tonight. So you can see, and I don't know, I still haven't caught down like the full amount of the batter. Sometimes I overfill and it leaks out and burbles everywhere, in which case, by the way, that reminds me to move this forward a little bit so it doesn't leak onto my leg if it overfills. And very politely, I put a tablecloth down over my little folding table so that if stuff does spill, I'm not damaging the hotel. Alright, so let me go over the rest of the ingredients. I have the gardenia, an olive salad. However, I modified it because it's going into a waffle where we already have a lot of fat in it. Your gardenia salad, depending on whose recipe, I will tell you, Chicago or New York, follow whatever recipe you like, because you know they'll cut you. Both of them think that theirs is the better, so you know, follow what you like and don't worry about it too much. But shallots, your Castelvano or your green olives, your Kalamata olives, red pepper, pepperoncini, salt, pepper, and then normally you would put a little bit of olive oil. I did not. That's the part that I skipped. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and maybe a little bit of other herbs and spices. And did I say also the gardenia, which is usually a mix of pickled vegetables like cauliflower, carrot, celery, and red pepper. I will tell you that I didn't put any carrots out of the gardenia into this when I chopped it all up. But that's your olive salad. There's no way all of this goes into one stuffler, but it's really hard to make this even this small of an amount as opposed to throwing it in and pulsing it in a food processor. So I have a little extra. That's all right. And then for the interior, I've got my provolone, 100% must have. I don't have all of the meats that you might usually put in there. Again, I'm in a hotel and it's in a stuffed waffle. It's not going to be a sandwich this thick. It's just not going to happen. So I've got my provolones. I've got some pepperoni. I've got a salami. I used a big sandwich salami. And ham. You would normally maybe not use this Canadian bacon, which is ham. You would probably use a better ham or a deli ham. But this is what we got, and it is shaped for the stuffed waffle. So that's what we're using. So let's do it. Let's see. let's see where we're at. Yep, the 90s. Renee's talking about pre-keto stuff. Oh, the Cajun place had a muffaletta with shrimp, oysters, and fish with a traditional olive salad. That's very weird, and it sounds so strange, but also really delicious. Let's see. Oh, Renee asks if there is actually such a thing as too much cheese. No, but since pimento cheese has like the mayonnaise and cheese factor, to make a really thick sandwich layer might be too much. And it's not that it's too much cheese, but probably more the mayo. Plus, also cooking it, it would get a more greasy. So. Oh, and Reichwin says if Lisa likes cheese, they will love Shelly's pimento cheese. 100%, I agree that Lisa needs to try the pimento cheese recipe. So let's see. Oh, and Lisa says they love all of Shelly's recipes. That she and Heath are master chefs. Seconded. That YouTube University has paid off. Let's see. Lisa says they haven't had a lot of time to experiment lately since starting the new job because they're getting home later. That's too bad because, Lisa, your food always looks so amazing. The photographs are spectacular. So, but Lisa will check their pantry. I look forward to hearing back how that works out. So, and Jen is asking what the favorite game I played this week. Let me round out to that once we get this stuff in here so we can get my waffle going. So I'm going to take my batter. And one thing that I have learned about the stuffed waffles is I was being too chintzy on the bottom layer. And actually, it's the top layer where you want to be, where it's better to be a little bit on the skimpier side. Go ahead and put a majority of your batter in the bottom and make sure that it fully covers all of the little waffle nubs. So I'm going to start by putting in a cheese and the ham. And then I am going to put down one salami. And then here I am going to drop in some of the salad. I love olives. And so for me, there cannot be too much of this, except for the waffle maker will tell me that there's too much. So try and be reasonable. But, you know, that's not always possible. But I also don't want batter to shoot across the hotel room like certain other people's stuffed waffles. So anyways, my next salami and the pepperonis might be getting a little too extreme here. And then my cheese. So we'll push it. And now I'm going to pour batter over the top. Okay, it's definitely over full. It's going to be a mess, and that's all right. I'm going to leave it. It's going to have some leakage off the top. And boom, I'm just closing it. It's already leaking out all over my tablecloth. Well, can't be helped, can it? And I have leftover batter, so maybe I'll make a thick waffle later. Maybe I'll mix the olive salad into it and make a weird savory one. Let me wipe some of these drips up. And I will just kind of swipe the side just a little bit. It's actually not too bad so far. It was only a couple drips, so that's not bad. And now we're going to leave it for like 10 minutes so we've got time to shoot the breeze and all of that while it cooks. Let's get into the comments. Let me move this with my dirty stuff. And the other thing I will tell you that I put together a little bit to dip on the side. I've got spicy brown mustard and mayonnaise, and I've mixed it together. So I've mixed it together. That kind of gives me a nice little flavor to put in with the meats. So there's that. I will have my plate. My Dalgona coffee is as delightful as ever. So let's have another little sip of it. Really good. I've got to remember to make these more often because they are very tasty. So, all right, where do we go here? Oh, Lisa says they also love olives, and that Lisa and James need a stuffler. Yes, yes, get the stuffed waffle maker. Just jump right onto our bandwagon. It's delicious and crazy, but they are enormous. Sharon says they have two stufflers now. They've got a Power XL and a Presto. So the husband is an Amazon shopper, found an open box deal. Oh, great! So couldn't help himself. You know what? I probably would have done the same thing. Let's see. Reichman says for everything that we want to put in those stufflers, we need the giant economy size. I agree. I'm excited. I really looking forward to it. But of course, I overfilled. After I said we need to make sure we fill the bottom enough, I still put too much. So now I didn't have enough for the top. So it's going to leak on the top. But that's all right. It's cheese. It's cheese. So, you know, what's the worst thing? Oh, no. It might get a little crispy. I think I can handle that. Hungry, he says, shots fired. I know, right? I mean, I wouldn't give you a hard time if I didn't love you, so there we go. You know, that's what friends are for. Sarcasm. Let's see, and what do we got here? Oh, and Purple Lady says they also bought the Presto Stuffler, but they haven't had a chance to try it out yet. Well, you've certainly been busy enough. Kat says they think it sounds delicious. Yeah, I'm already looking forward to it. Plus, I was really hungry. I had like a little snack earlier, but on load in and load out days, I find that I do like a whole bunch, and because I'm busy, never, ever, ever did I think I would have this words come out of my mouth. I forget to eat. So I did like this on my way out this morning. I ate a slice of bacon. On my way this afternoon, I realized I was starving, but I knew the stream was coming, so I would have things, but I literally couldn't wait. So I ate the little teeny part of the top of one of the buns with another slice of bacon and a little teeny bit of goat cheese, which actually, instead of sating my appetite, made me even hungrier. So my stuffed waffle is sizzling pretty hardcore, so I can tell then that the cheese is definitely leaking out. And I can smell the cheese, getting that crispy, cheesy burn smell, which we know is delicious. Let's see. Oh, and Reichman says now Amazon has a stuffed pancake maker. Wait a minute, what's the difference between a stuffed pancake maker and a stuffed waffle maker? Is it just that it's a flat griddle? I'm gonna have to look into that and see. And Hungry CC knows. Real friends stab you in the front. Exactly. And this weekend it was literally, I spent a lot of time in a group here called Ant Guard, and it's basically the form, it's a fantasy LARP back in the Renaissance era, so it's a lot of hitting people with big foam swords and sticks, that kind of thing, so lots of active stuff. So, let's see. I did miss the movie quote. Oh, is that hair gel the cheesy movie reference to the shot? Yes, yes. Ew, disgusting. I'm just gonna reiterate that. Ew, and you complained about the M word? Terrible. So let's see. Oh, and Lisa said they were so busy this morning they forgot their morning coffee and then had to take a nap in the afternoon. Oh yeah, that would hurt. I think I might get withdrawals if I didn't have my morning coffee. I don't even have to have like the whole coffee, but I do have to have like at least a shot of espresso, or you know, it's the withdrawal, which you know sounds terrible to say, but everybody knows that that's true, and that's what happens. So anyways, oh yeah, my favorite game this weekend, man, I played so many games. I played Giant Power Grid. which is an older game, but the giant version is special that only comes to conventions with Game Base 7, which is a board gaming club. The person who made it is a fantastic individual, and I really love playing Power Grid, so it was exciting to me to play Giant Power Grid. It literally, they make the map is like, I don't know, it's like 4 tables put together for the map to lay down, and you have like the sticks with the pushers on it because it's so huge, and they've got little light up cubes for the cities. So that's high on my list. The other thing though, but I played Origins of Species, which is by the gaming company I talked to you guys about a while back, the Genius Games. They've merged with Artana Games, but still have that same level of quality. I got to play a round of Great Western Trails. That one, I hadn't really played it well before, so it was a lot of learning up front. But once we got the mechanics going, the game started to flow, and it was really a lot of fun. So I might actually even pick it up because it was pretty good. I'm trying to think what were other highlights, really good games that I ran into. I got to demo a Kickstarter that I backed, Frosthaven, and so that was really groovy. But but that one is good. Is actually more of a campaign game because they give you scenarios, and when you play them with, so you got to play it multiple times with a group, and it advances the board and changes as you go along. I'm gonna peek at this, even though I know it can't possibly be done. Oh, it's sticking a little. Oh. You guys, it's gorgeous. Check that out. All right, I'm going to close it and let it cook a little longer. I think I'm actually going to like that the cheese leaked out a little bit because now it's got like a little bit on the top of that super nice crispy crust from the cheese. I cannot say for 1 second that I am sorry about that. Let's see. Oh, and Raikwen says, yes, it is a grill like you make pancakes with, but deeper so you can make a stuffed one. That sounds just interesting enough. I might need one because you could make, I like on the Blackstone making regular pancakes. And by regular, I mean keto pancakes, not stuffed. But I like to do the one where you lay the bacon down and then you pour the pancake batter over the bacon and you have bacon plus pancake. Those are some of my favorites. In fact, we should make those sometime this week. That would be pretty tasty. Let's see. And Hungry He says, waffle is a more friendly version of a pancake. It offers to hold the syrup in the handy little cups. Yes, I will say, actually the real difference though between waffles and pancakes is in the batter, where the waffle batter has the fat added. And most pancakes don't have that oil addition into it. So, but let's see. And then Renee says they made their breakfast with soft-boiled eggs in the air fryer today. I agree, and Renee mentions that it always amazes them how well that works. Me too. I can't believe it that you can air fry to make a hard-boiled or a soft-boiled egg. It's just the weirdest thing to me, but it does work out really great. Let's see. And Renee says they preheat theirs to 300, add eggs to 8 or 9 minutes, and then put in the ice bath to chill it, and then you peel. Or if it's very soft, then of course, you just cut the top off and it's liquidy inside. So. Oh, and the warden is mentioning that the keto bricks, when you melt them down into little pucks, that they do retain their taste. So they taste exactly the same as the whole brick. So, but yeah, it does. It re-solidifies just fine. I think it's from all the coconut oil in it. Oh, and Sharon's eating banana creamy. Oh, yeah, that's one of my favorites. I use the banana keto chow, and then I add just a little bit more of banana extract. And as the ice cream, spectacular. I still see steam coming, so I'm going to let this go just a little bit longer. We're almost there. I'm trying to think of what else. I will tell you that the vending hall was really amazing, and I got to talk to a lot of board game manufacturers that I hadn't seen for a couple years, so there was a lot of that reconnecting going on. That was fantastic. I did get to play one game of Shadowrun, which is one of my favorite RPGs, by the way, and I like the older editions, but it's always going to be one of my favorites. I mean, everybody has their favorites, and that's mine. I really enjoy the cyberpunk and the very grittiness of the apocalyptic sort of universe. So, and also, I like throwing like a whole bathtub of dice. I know that's a real downside for a lot of people, but I love being like, oh, my character is going to roll 42 dice. Scatter. So, it's maybe a weird thing to enjoy, but there it is. I'm trying to remember. I played more games and it's escaping my mind. Shoot. Well, Origins of Species. Oh, I played a game called Power Failure, and I really enjoyed that quite a bit. It was just a quick little card game. So it was but it didn't have like zero strategy to it. It did require some thinking, and it would have been very easy to throw yourself off without proper thinking ahead, which is hard to do because the cards keep changing. So it was a lot of fun. I'm not going to say, I don't think it was my favorite, but it was pretty good. Let's see. And of course, I taught crochet classes, and those were good. Especially when we did the dragon scale gloves, because that was our advanced crochet, so everybody already had the foundation. I was really pleased because most of them came because in the past they had struggled learning how to do the crocodile stitch. That's an advanced stitch, and everybody who participated in that class went away knowing how to do the stitch and to do 3 variations of it. So I felt that was extremely successful, and that was probably my favorite part, is that they were also very excited because a couple of them had said they've tried to learn it multiple times and have not had it, and then were able to walk away with that skill. Hooray, the steam has stopped. Let's pull this baby out. Look at that. Let me see. I don't think we can hear it. Wait, maybe. Anyway, super crispy, and because the cheese came out, remember how on the sweet one it was not quite as nice and lovely brown? This is perfect. It is utter perfection, you guys. I'm telling you, savory is the way to go with these stuffed makers. And of course the underside is also beautiful perfection. I'm burning my fingers, so I'm going to set it back down, wipe my fingers, and unplug the maker. And just let that cool down. So, now I will say these sides are a little soft. They feel cooked, but they are soft. Whereas the top and bottom got that beautiful, beautiful crisp. So, and I've noticed that's with all of the stuffed waffles. I think if you cook them to make the sides crispy, the top and bottom would burn. It smells so savory. It actually smells like the provolone cheese on the top. So, let's cut it. And I don't know if I can get into it, but now you can smell all the olives, and you can see how the batter has melded. Well, I don't know if you can see, but and all of the stuff here has come into the middle, and the cheese has melted, and the meats have come down towards the bottom. So I don't even know where I was holding that, so I hope that I was showing you the interior of the stuffed waffle. I'm going to cut it into a 1/4. And actually, I am dumb. I have this leftover batter. It won't be a stuffed waffle. Let me flick a couple little things out of here. I don't want to burn my fingers, but there's a little piece of waffle right here. I'm going to plug this back in because you know what I was thinking? I do have my leftover batter. I'm just going to make another waffle. But it can be plain, that way I can put other toppings on it. So it's perfect, like I said. Let me get up and bring this to the camera. You'll have to, I have my Attila over here doing the moderation. You'll have to tell me if I've gotten into the camera or not. At the same time, I'll set this here so it can get put in the fridge. Is it showing?
You're not, it's not caught up to where
Okay.
you're still sitting down.
Well, hopefully you are seeing a waffle at this point. And if you aren't, well, I'm sorry. And I'll sit back down. I don't know. Anyways, it just, all right, I gotta bite it. I can't wait no more. Oh, it was really good. So let's see. I think we universally agree we all like runny yolks and the soft boiled eggs. Let's see. And oh, Renee says, I bet Shauna would love them. Probably not. And Shauna's not here tonight. She went to a family barbecue. So that's nice. And she said it hadn't happened in a really long time. So that's going to be awesome. Jen loves Shadowrun. Great. And then Hungry He says his favorite card game other than poker, spades, and hearts is Cards Against Humanity. Not a fan of Cards Against Humanity. I don't like the mechanics. I don't like the way it flows. So, but, you know, I'm open to other things. If you like Cards Against Humanity, you might like Joking Hazard or, what is it called? Trial by Trolley or Trolley. I'll get the name for you. It's similar, but with different humor and different company. So I'm gonna get a little dip here. I'm gonna have another big bite. Yeah, right towards the center. Gets all of that nice pickled olivey flavor. Could use more cheese. But of course, I'm always going to say I could use more cheese. Jen is asking if Origins is my last convention before KPL. And I'm going to say no. In August is MatsuruCon, which is an anime and gaming convention here in Columbus. So I'll definitely hit that up. Probably not like the whole vacation week. And I'm not working there. So it'll just be for, it's probably just going to go on Saturday though, instead of the whole convention. Maybe Friday and Saturday. I don't know. So MatsuruCon. I'm not going to Gen Con this year because Gen Con is falling in that same first week of August. And my kid is moving into their own apartment for the first time the weekend before, and everything is just like all piled on top of each other. So we're going to help them move and get settled in and gather up the things that they've discovered they need that we didn't plan appropriately, etc. So that's what we're going to be doing. Instead of having fun at Gen Con, we're going to be slugging things around to a new apartment in the heat. So doesn't sound so great, but at the same time, I'm super thrilled for my kid getting their own first apartment, 19, and they're going to start student teaching. So, wow, I made an adult, guys. Let's see. Oh, Hungry He says it's chef hands when you can touch stuff right hot. Yeah, I forget about that. And Lisa says it looks very hearty. It is. All of the stuffed waffles are extremely hearty. They are definitely something that you want to think about as a multi-meal or shared item. It's really hard to eat one whole at a time. Not that it can't be done, but we're talking OMAD there. Let's see. And Hungry Heath says that this sandwich looked like a Monte Cristo, and now he wants to make one in his stuffler. That would be fantastic. Actually, you could really do that, especially if you take like the pork rind dust like Serious Keto did and put that down first to give it like that exterior crisp. And then you could shaker on just a tiny smidge of allulose on the outside to give it that whole Monte Cristo feel. That's a good plan. We should do it. Get on that, would you? I look forward to it. All right, I'm just making a plain waffle. It can cook away in here. I've never actually just underfilled this and not stuffed it and left it to make like a regular waffle. Not so sure how I'm getting it out because it doesn't even reach the rings. Hopefully it rises up, or maybe I should just take the rings out and lift it out like a regular waffle. Who knows? Anyways, that takes care of that. We'll see what happens, because now the top can't cook because it's not reaching the top of the waffle maker. Also, these rings aren't set in proper. There we go. Well, how bad can it be, right? Let's see. Oh, and Renee says they forgot they had some sliced portobellos in the fridge. They look a little bit wet, not slimy. Oh, do I think they're okay to saute or trash them? Man, that is a hard call. I don't know. It would probably depend on my mood whether I would risk it or throw them. If they're not slimy, give them a good wash and dry them with a paper towel and see if they still have, if they get like that regular mushroom feel to them, or if they still have like a little bit of a slicker on them. If they still get a little bit of a slick on them, I would throw them away in a second. I don't know if mushrooms ever really get a weird smell though when they're going off, so I worry about that. Everyone else seems to say saute them up, so there you go. There's your answer. Oh, and Renee's cooking up the skirt steak that's been marinating in homemade chipotle rub. Ooh, that sounds good. Our moderator has added, remember that all mushrooms are edible at least once. Sorry, I'm just taking a minute to actually eat some of this sandwich. Or, well, waffle. Definitely a winner. I want to find a way with these to work the ingredients a little further out to the sides, because this, on the stuffed waffles that I've made so far, I do get plain waffle about a 1/4 inch of the way in on each side. And so you have to think ahead about that because you are getting a big bite of waffle. Not that that's a bad thing, but really I'm all about the filling. So that's everything for tonight. And Hungry Heath is asking if I think the mofongo would work in the stuffler. It might, but I don't know how to make one keto-fied. Questionable. I don't know. I've got a big pile of foam I'm going to eat. This is a great way to end my vacation. I am just like having the ultimate in indulgence here. So, a little bit more about the Dalgona coffee. So, the Dalgona coffee is named after the Korean treat Dalgona, which, if you watch like a lot of weird Korean horrors, you know that recently went viral was the oh shoot, what was that? It was the one about the games. I can't remember what it was called all of a sudden.
Squid Games.
Squid Games, yes, Squid Games. So that candy that they made, which is basically sugar and baking soda, was an inspiration for the Dalgona coffee. Dalgona coffee was created in the 1960s in a little coffee shop. I can't remember the name because I don't have like notes like I might take at home to remind me or refresh my memory. But so it's only been around, it hasn't been around that long. The 60s were not that long ago. Don't correct me if you think it was that long ago, because no, I deny 100% it was not that long ago. So had a little bit of ice there to crunch down. But yeah, so, and that's why the Dalgona coffee, in addition to cutting the intense bitter from the strength of the foam, that's also why it's so sweet. And for some reason, when you whip it up with the sweetener, it gets that similar flavor to those candies that to the Dalgona candy. And of course, Dalgona is the name of the region where all of these things originated. So that's pretty much all there is to it. There's not a whole lot. There's not a big special story to it or anything like that. I've dripped on my shirt, which is fantastic, and also my Bluetooth headphones. But that's all right. Let's see. Oh, and Hungry Heat says they've made a keto mofongo. You know what? Now I remember you have. I think I've seen it. Or I could be thinking of someone else. I don't know. It's a crazy time. Oh, and Renee says they did try an unsweetened vanilla almond coconut milk blend, and that's probably their new favorite. The almond coconut blends disappear from our stores for like short periods of time frequently, and I don't know why. It makes me crazy because I do think that would be ideal. I really do also like the almond coconut mix, but we buy just regular unsweetened almond because we can buy it at Costco and it comes in 3 half gallons, so that makes it very convenient. So let's see. Oh, and Heath says to hang tight because they did buy all the ingredients, so they'll be making some interesting dishes. Yeah, do we know what you're making on Friday night for Friday Night Feast on the Hungry Heath YouTube channel? I'm interested, and I won't be on vacation, so I'll definitely be there. What else do we got going on? Goodness, it's 7:30. So, oh, Renee said they can only find the small shelf cartons, not the big jugs. Yeah, so that's the issue with that. I don't know why. It's so hard to find that almond coconut blend. But there's always unsweetened almond and there's always unsweetened coconut, just not the blend together. So I don't know why, because there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to it. But I'm sure there's a story somewhere. All right, everyone. I cannot tell you how tired I am. We've hoisted things. Non-scale victories. Even though I know that I do quite a bit of fitness and activity. I usually go for bike rides or I do strength training. My legs feel it. Every day this week I have done over 30K steps. My dogs are tired. 100%. I am done. D-O-N-E, done. So, alright. Oh, and Friday they're making bacon burger bombs. Oh, that sounds really good. And I did take tomorrow off, thankfully, but we got to get up and get everything out of this hotel room and get back at a reasonable time. Kid has an appointment. I've got appointments. So I might not be working, but I still have a bunch of crap to get done. So. Oh, Renee's asking if we have a big Pride event this year. We sure do. And it's going to be the weekend of the June 17th to the 19th. They have gone full bore. We've got the big festival again. We're going to have the big parade. I don't know if it's going to scale back or not. Right now, there's a lot of, it's just a lot of things up in the air. I usually have an entry in the parade and I bring all my people there. And we opted to not actually march in the parade, but instead we are just going to get downtown really early, get parked real nice, and then situate ourselves in prime cheering area. And I've told all of our friends that if they are wanting to join in that way, they could bring a chair and we will make space for everybody. So that is what we're doing this year. I don't know about costumes. Probably not. Probably just flags. So. Oh, and Lisa says that sounds awesome. I'm hungry. He's bacon burger bombs. All right, everyone. I'm gonna take off and finish eating and go to bed extra early. That's the other thing. You guys know how I go to bed early most of the time, and then I'm up early. So we've been up until the wee hours, and then I'm still waking up at regular times, so I'm getting sleep deprived, which is not good, and we all know how important sleep is. So I'm hoping that I just go to bed and I super crash, because I'm going to eat another quarter of this. I think. Maybe not. We'll see. But I'm hoping that I just crash out. So good luck. All right. Oh, and Renee says they were going to do Billy in Pride attire. That would be hilarious. I think that you should do it 100%. I've said 100% like 3 times. I must have picked it up at the con somewhere. All right. I'll talk to you guys all later. See you soon. And I will do a video tomorrow. I don't know. It'll be a great video, but at least an office video.